I became a mom quite young. I love my kids to death. I wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for them. They really pushed me to where I am today. I wouldn't be able to be doing the things that I'm doing. And yeah, it's not easy to run businesses as well as be a mom. But at the same time, what I do is amazing because I get to be so flexible with my time. So I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I get to be there for my kids. So I'm just really grateful to have the job that I do because I'm able to be really present in my kids' lives.
We parent partly the way we were parented. Often we have to tweak it because we are living in a different environment from what our parents lived in. We are doing different jobs from those our parents did. Our kids are going to different schools or living in a different environment. So you have to use the experience you learned from observing parenting growing up, because nobody sat you in a classroom and told you this is how we parent in this part of the world, and then tweak it to suit where you're raising your children at.
What we are finding is that there are people who have come from very dominant parenting homes, and they hate the way they were raised. They were pushed by their parents to perform, so it was all about performance. They did perform. They are doing well academically. They are doing well in their jobs, but relationally, they are struggling. And when all is said and done, relationships matter.
I always drop my children to school every morning, and my husband picks them up. We've been very intentional on not putting them on school transport. We've also been very intentional in not putting them in boarding schools so that we see them every day.
What do we feel is this version of parenting that we need to adopt based on our social economic conditions?
You must know your children. You must know them because they have their own individuality, and that's why time spent with them is very important.
Availability sometimes may not contribute to a good parenting. There are some people who are available, but they're ever violent with their spouses. Then your absence is more constructive than you being available. Okay?
I cannot be very, very successful in my job, yet I have nothing. Raise my commitment to my parenting. My parenting comes before my job, and if I picked up a balance, I would be very, very successful. So one of the things I have to say here is listen to your children. Be there, listen to them.
There are stages of life where you have to deal with certain demands on you biologically, psychologically, and socially. And during each of those stages, you need a different kind of parenting. At each of those stages, because your brain is functioning differently at each of those stages, you need a different kind of parenting. And a parent needs to know this, that when I have the toddler, the parenting I will give this child is different from when they become terrible 2s, and then they turn 3, and then they turn into an argumentative 6, and then they turn into a rebellious 14, and then they turn into this calm 21-year-old who seems to have everything fixed, and then they turn into this 30-year-old who doesn't know what's happening to their relationship. At each of those stages, they need a different kind of parenting.
The role of technology in raising children?
The gadget, it has an advantage and disadvantage at the same time. I'm not a mother, but I do have my nephew who texted me yesterday. I didn't even know he uses WhatsApp. Personally, in my generation, at his age, I didn't know how to chat. I like the way he was chatting because the punctuation and all the semicolon, he knew how to place them.
The gadget is neutral, but the content coming through is not. You can live in a gated community, but the entire world is your neighbor in that gadget. Therefore, proper use of the gadget must be taught. Because there are people out there who are designing ways of destroying others and comes through this very same internet. So safe use of the internet is mandatory.